What causes gravity? Hello, and welcome. Today, we're asking the oldest, and perhaps the greatest, question. A question we think we understand until we really, truly look at it. What causes gravity? We feel its embrace every second of our lives. It holds our feet on the ground, it guides the earth in its eternal dance around the sun, and it weaves the galaxies themselves into vast, swirling tapestries of light. It is the most familiar force in the universe, and yet it is the most profound mystery. For centuries, we thought we knew. A great mind, Isaac Newton, saw an apple fall and imagined an invisible, silent force reaching out across space, pulling everything together. It was a beautiful idea, a kind of cosmic magic. But it had a problem. How does the Earth, from 93 million miles away, tell the sun to stay in orbit? How does this force travel through the utter emptiness of space? Newton's gravity was a ghost, acting without a medium, without a touch. He himself was troubled by this, calling the idea of action at a distance an absurdity. The mystery remained, sleeping for centuries, until a clerk in a patent office in Switzerland had a dream. His name was Albert Einstein. And his dream didn't just solve the mystery, it rewrote the very stage upon which the universe performs. Einstein asked us to stop thinking of space as a void. He asked us to imagine it instead as a fabric, a cosmic canvas, a four-dimensional tapestry woven together with time itself. We'll call it the space-time continuum. Think of it not as emptiness, but as a substance, silent and invisible, the true ether of existence. Now imagine this fabric is perfectly flat, taut, and smooth. This is empty space. Now place an object within it, a star, a planet, even you and me. Einstein revealed that mass and energy don't just sit in this fabric. They interact with it. They press down upon it. They create a depression, a well, a curvature. Think of a stretched rubber sheet. Now, place a heavy iron ball in its center. What happens? The sheet bends, curves, stretches downwards, creating a deep, smooth funnel. That heavy ball is a star. That curvature is gravity. This is the first great secret. Gravity is not a force that pulls. It is a shape that guides. An object moving through curved space-time isn't being pulled by a mysterious string. It is simply following the most natural, the most effortless path it can along the contours of the cosmic landscape. We call this a geodesic. The Earth isn't being pulled by the sun. It is simply running forever in a circle along the immense, solar-made well in the space-time fabric, like a marble spun around a drain. It is cosmic coasting. This is why all objects, regardless of their mass, fall at the same rate in a vacuum. A feather and a cannonball, in the curved geometry of space-time, are simply following the same downhill path. The geometry dictates the motion. It is breathtakingly elegant. But Einstein's revelation goes deeper, into the truly mystical. The curvature of space-time doesn't just guide matter, it also guides light. It bends the very paths of rays of starlight. It warps time itself. Near a massive object, where the fabric is stretched tight, time actually flows more slowly. This isn't a theory, it's a measured fact. The GPS in your phone has to account for the fact that time runs a tiny bit faster for the satellites in Earth's weaker gravity than it does for you on the surface. Gravity is literally a sculptor of time. So, we have our answer, right? Mass tells space-time how to curve, and curved space-time tells mass how to move. It's a cosmic dance, a perfect, closed loop. But for those who listen closely to the universe, a whisper remains. A deeper why. Why does mass or energy curve space-time? What is the actual mechanism? How does the presence of a star communicate to the fabric of the universe to warp itself? This is where we leave the solid ground of 20th century physics and step into the shimmering, speculative, and magical frontier of the 21st. We are peering behind the curtain of Einstein's stage. One of the most compelling and frankly magical ideas comes from the world of quantum physics. It suggests that space itself is not smooth and continuous. At the very smallest possible scale, the Planck scale, spacetime is believed to be quantized. It's a frothing, bubbling, chaotic sea of potentiality, a quantum foam. Think of the spacetime fabric not as a smooth silk sheet, but as a vast ocean. On the surface, it looks calm and continuous. But if you could shrink down to the size of an atom, you'd see a frantic, seething chaos. Waves, bubbles, particles popping in and out of existence in a furious dance of creation and annihilation. This ocean is never still. At the quantum level, there is a fundamental energy, a jittering, a vibration. This is the zero-point field, the hum of existence itself. Now imagine placing a massive object into this quantum ocean. It still creates a depression, a warp, just like Einstein said. But the new question is, what if the warp is an emergent property? What if it's not a fundamental thing, but a consequence of something else? Let's use a metaphor. Imagine a box filled with a swarm of tiny, hyperactive bees, all buzzing in every direction. This is our quantum foam, our sea of virtual particles. Now place a warm object in the middle of the box, a stone heated by the sun. The bees are drawn to the warmth. They buzz around it, bump into it. From a distance, if you couldn't see the individual bees, what would you see? You'd see two stones placed near each other in this box being pushed together. They would be jostled by the buzzing bees from the outside, but the space between them, shielded by their own bodies, would have fewer bees bumping into them. The greater pressure from the outside would push them together. It would look like an attractive force. This is the essence of one modern theory. What we feel as gravity could be the result of this quantum sea. A mass like the Earth might be cooling the quantum frenzy in its vicinity, creating a pressure differential. We are, in this view, being pushed together by the cosmic buzz from the outside, rather than being pulled. Gravity becomes a statistical illusion, a shadow cast by the frantic, hidden quantum world. This idea connects to one of the most holographic concepts in all of physics, the holographic principle. It suggests that all the information describing a volume of space, like this room or the entire universe, might actually be encoded on its boundary, its outer surface, like a hologram where a three-dimensional image is stored on a two-dimensional film. If this is true, then our 3D reality, with its gravity and its curves, is a projection. The true laws of the universe are written on a distant, two-dimensional surface, and what we experience, including gravity, is just a decoded shadow. This is not science fiction. It is a serious, albeit mind-bending, frontier of theoretical physics. So, let's weave these threads together into a mystical tapestry. What if gravity is the sigh of the universe, the visible effect of a deeper, hidden process? The curvature of space-time is real, but it is the symptom, not the cause. The true cause lies in the relentless, probabilistic dance of the quantum world beneath the fabric of reality. Mass somehow orders the chaos. It quiets the quantum jitter, creating a gradient, a slope in the fundamental energy of the vacuum, and we and all things slide down that slope. It is the universe seeking a state of equilibrium, of rest, in the same way water seeks the lowest point. But this is not a rest of stillness. It is a rest of perfect, dynamic balance. In this view, gravity is not a monster lurking in space, pulling us down. It is the natural tendency of existence to flow towards harmony. It is the universe's way of drawing things together, of creating structure from chaos, of building stars, planets, and galaxies so that life might have a stage. It is the great attractor, the cosmic glue that allows for story, for life, for love, and for questions like this one to be asked. It is the force of relationship itself. Without it, the universe would be a diffuse, lonely cloud of non-interacting particles, a silent, dark, and meaningless void. Gravity is what makes the universe a cosmos, an ordered, beautiful, and interconnected whole. It is the shadow of a deeper reality, a gentle and persistent reminder that what we see is only a fraction of what is. So, the next time you drop a pen, or feel the weight of your own body, or look up at the moon hanging silently in the sky, I want you to remember, you are not being pulled. You are coasting. You are following a path carved into the very essence of reality by the objects around you. You are a participant in a cosmic dance, moving to the rhythm of curved space and warped time, all of which may be a magnificent illusion projected from the edges of creation. It is the most familiar magic and the most magical familiarity. If this journey into the heart of gravity sparked a sense of wonder for you, if it made the fabric of reality feel a little more magical, then please help this channel grow. Give this video a like. It tells the algorithm that there are more curious minds like you out there. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next dive into the mysteries of the cosmos. And I would absolutely love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What does gravity feel like to you? Is it a pull or a push or something else entirely? And if your curiosity has been truly ignited, if you want to go much, much deeper down this rabbit hole, then I invite you to explore my book, Holographic Multiverse. In it, we explore this idea and others in vast detail: the quantum foam, the holographic principle, and the truly breathtaking implications of what our universe might really be. The link to purchase Holographic Multiverse is in the description below. Thank you for watching. Keep looking up and remember to question the very ground beneath your feet. Until next time.